Hello, guys. It's me, Braxton, and welcome to Woke Wednesdays. I'm gonna be referring to my computer a little bit for the notes, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of reason of why I am doing this. I am doing this one because I want to go ahead and try to go ahead and build my brand and also, be able to learn to talk about things that matter to me. This is why I'm doing that. So today's topic is, why do we, as Black people, put down HBCUs? So feel free to comment and leave questions for me to answer as we have this live discussion. I want it to be more of a discussion than just me talking. So if you want to comment on anything or have any questions, please feel free to do so. So first things first, let's break down some key terms and make some things clear. So HBCU. HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. PWI. PWI stands for Predominantly White Institutions. I also want to make the point that HBCUs were birthed as a result of discrimination, systematic racism, and white oppression. So I want you guys to understand that these are not discriminatory institutions. Anyone can be admitted to a HBCU. They're historically Black colleges, not historically exclusive. And also, lastly, this live segment is not a jab at anyone who attends a PWI, but to wake up our brothers and sisters who don't necessarily put them up and put them down, because I feel like us as Black people should definitely put up institutions that were made for us by us. So, the reason I chose this topic was because at my school that I'm going to in the fall, Tennessee State, there was a incident at orientation where two classmates got into altercation, and altercations can happen anywhere. And someone's mother made a post that I found very disturbing. And I'm going to read it to you guys so that you guys can get a little bit of insight on why I decided to talk about this today. So the post read, "I'm still not happy, as were many other parents, that things were so disorganized and a fight broke out. The school is so out of date, the dorm rooms look like prison cells, and the school was a dirty, grimy mess. Shaking my head, I wasn't the only one clutching my Barbara Bush pearls. I'm so happy my son decided on his own. TSU is ghetto, ignorant, has an ignorant mentality, doesn't communicate effectively. It makes HBCUs look bad. That campus had parts that look like the Good Times show. First and last experience in Nashville, too unprofessional, and a whole day wasted. No wonder the grad rate is low." First of all, grad rate isn't low, but that post really disturbed me. As Black people, I feel like sometimes we tend to associate HBCUs with being negative. And just because a fight broke out, fights break out anywhere. They can break out anywhere. But all of a sudden, the school is ghetto. The school is just being downgraded. To call a school, to refer to it as the campus and the dorms look like the parts of the Good Times show, those were rooms and buildings that can't be touched because they were made by slaves. But we don't want to talk about that. These were buildings and institutions that were built on the back of slaves because post-Civil War, we didn't have the opportunity to be educated. These are why these institutions were instilled. So for Black people to downgrade schools that are made specifically for us is just, I don't get it. So, why do we associate HBCUs with being inferior to that of a predominantly white institution? It's one thing for other cultures to judge our culture, but for us to tear down our own culture, when we get to the point where we're degrading HBCUs because of the facilities, which 9 times out of 10 were built by slaves, our ancestors, and we start prejudging the experiences and quality of education that we can receive in an HBCU, we need to reevaluate how we think of ourselves and how we think of the people that we come from. My determination from all of this was, one, some of us have lack of knowledge. We make assumptions, we say things that are completely not true. One, that we have a low graduation rate. That's inaccurate. But most importantly, more of us have adopted self-hatred. We've been brought up to think that white is right. We had this mentality that white is right and white is the standard for a lot of our lives. And the question is, when will we be the standard for our own lives? It's like, okay. So, these are the questions I have. Do we discredit HBCUs because of how society views blackness? Or because society elevates PWIs because there's this social concept that majority white means higher quality? Because I personally feel, and I personally know, that you can get a quality education anywhere. But why is it that when we talk about HBCUs, when we talk about institutions that are specific to black students, that the education and the quality of education and the quality experience that you have is automatically degraded? And it's us black people that are discussing and talking about why we can't receive a quality education at an institution that was made for our benefits. It's as if some black people feel that white guidance is the key to success, and without it, we cannot prosper. Not to say that you cannot prosper at any university, because you can, but some of the comments that I most commonly find and that are made suggest that being in an all-black environment means that you cannot prosper. Some of the examples that I've noticed, I like to call them the reasons I will never attend an HBCU. An all-black environment does not mock that of a realistic work environment. HBCUs are known for getting their students internships. In fact, when major companies are looking to diversify their companies, where do you think they come? If you're looking to diversify your company, they're definitely going to come to an HBCU because it houses majority of the black students that they need to diversify their companies. So to say that an all-black environment does not mock that of a realistic environment, a realistic work environment, you have the opportunity. They're giving you the opportunity that you may not have necessarily at a PWI when you're around a lot of different other students, to be able to have that opportunity to get yourself out there as a minority student. But when you're at an HBCU, they come directly there to find black students to work in their companies. So to say that it doesn't mock that of a realistic work environment, that's not true. Another thing that I'm commonly hear is that HBCUs are party schools, not academic. Everyone is concerned about showing out, trying to be seen, and getting lit at homecoming. And I hear that a lot from black people. And I also, when more and more I think about it, I hear, it may not be in a negative sense, but it's commonly like every time I say, oh yeah, I'm going to Tennessee State University, it's like, oh, homecoming's going to be lit. I'm going to come to your homecoming. Like, there's other things about our school that is positive. And HBCUs are not just about partying and homecoming, but, to address that, at HBCUs, we do celebrate our blackness. And we have pride for our school because we work hard. And those who came before us worked hard for us to be in the position to even pursue in higher education. So, yes, we do celebrate homecoming, and we do get lit, and we do show out, and we do what we have to do. To be seen. That's what black pride is. You'll find that anywhere, not just at an HBCU, but black people, period. That's what we do. We're showing out for the people that paved the way for us. So, just to hit y'all with a little bit of history, prior to the Civil War, blacks were not allowed to pursue an education. And our only opportunity to do so was by creating the opportunity ourselves, which hence the start of HBCUs. So, just going back to the original topic, these institutions were started for us, and they were started for us. So, a lot of times, us as Black people degrading HBCUs, I just don't get it. There are people that died and fought for us to be in the position to be able to receive an education, whether or not you go to a HBCU, you go to a PWI, you go to the military, wherever. If you're receiving an education, there are people that fought for you to do that. So regardless of where you go to school, as a Black person, I personally do not feel that you should ever degrade something that was fought for, that people lost their lives for you specifically. And for those of you who will still put HBCUs down, let me hit you with some facts. According to Gallup Purdue University's newest study, Black graduates from HBCUs are significantly more likely to have felt supported during college and to be thriving than their Black peers who graduated from PWIs. Also, HBCUs produce some of the world's greatest Black leaders, yet nearly get the recognition of Yale, Harvard, and Princeton. In the United States, 50% of Black lawyers, 40% of Black engineers, and 70% of Black physicians graduated from HBCUs. So, before I close up, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment. I'll be free to go ahead and, answer those questions, and we can talk. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I hope I was able to wake up some of my Black brothers and sisters. And I just want to let you know it is okay to attend whichever university that you choose. However, it's not okay to put down universities that were specifically made for us, by us. It's a slap in the face to Black people everywhere, and it's especially a slap in the face to our ancestors that came before us, that fought for us to go to school and, really went through some tough stuff to build these historically Black colleges and universities. So I just really want everybody to think about that. Before we start judging based off of size, when we start judging based off of the facilities, especially the facilities, that really gets me, because a lot of those facilities can't even be touched. They can't be touched because of the history behind it, the amazing people that came before us, the founders of the school. They can't be touched. So if those look too good times for you, then maybe it's not for you. But yes, so please comment any new topics you want me to discuss next Wednesday. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for these last 15 minutes, and have a great day. Thanks.